Hello, YouTube. How's it going? How was your week? What did you do? I went on a lovely walk at lunchtime today. It was like -4 degrees. It feels like -8. And it was lovely. It was a great temperature for a walk. My video is not loading. There you go. There you go. It's like, oh no, what if my video just doesn't load and we can't watch it today? I was going to do a Dexter Yeager stream that was going to need to be 3 separate streams, but my brain has been tired this week. My eyes have been hurting a little bit. So I was like, I don't have the mental capacity to do a heavy, complicated Dexter Yeager stream. So instead, I'm just going to do an easier stream, a more fun stream. And I realized my setup's all weird. Pause. Everything was all tangled. Everything was all tangled. I see I already have some friends here. Yay. Lori says, oh, I'm a little under the weather. Not sure if I'll be here for the whole stream. No worries, Lori. Thank you for joining. And make sure to go rest when you need to. Oh, yes. Hi, Sina. And yes, we hope you feel better. Thanks, my favorite Spud. That's funny. I like that. Hey, Gary. How's it going? Hey, Mr. Ranger Lab. Hello. Lori's saying hello to everyone. I literally just said hi to you. Sorry, Lori. And hello, Elaine. Today I'm excited to do a new video from Frazer Brooks's channel. As you know, if you've watched my channel, he is a famous MLM coach. And he's a younger MLM coach. Here he's going to tell us about how he is 36. He was born in 1988. And so he joined when he was 18. He joined when he was 18, and at some point he left the industry to come into coaching. For as long as I've been watching this content, he's been an MLM coach. We could go to, at the end of this video, we'll go to his channel and sort from oldest to newest, and then we can see when his first ever MLM coaching video was, because I'd be curious. Because he's very young. He's very young to already be out of the industry and in like the coaching field. Surprisingly young. Hi, Jenny. How's it going? Thank you for joining. Yes, he's young, and his dad did force him into an MLM, which, not force, but pressured, because of course we want to please our parents. We want to make them happy. And if your dad, your mom, whoever continues to ask you to do something, like go into a certain field, even if it's not something you're passionate about, you are likely to do it because you want to make them happy, right? Okay, I'm going to turn him down because he's so loud. Okay, 75. Let's do that. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Hey, legend. Frazer Brooks from Networking. If you're here for the first time, my name is Frazer Brooks. Do me a massive favor. Network marketing, or are you potentially looking at getting into network marketing? Now, the first things first, let me just share with you a real quick story. When I got started in network marketing, it was actually before I was even born. I often say
I have him at 1.15 speed, but I feel like he's very fast. Oops. Do we agree? I'm going to put him at normal speed, and then if he slows down, then we can increase it. So let's continue.
My network marketing career started in 1987, but I wasn't born until 1988. My dad found a newspaper back in 1987 with a picture of an Aston Martin DB5. He looked at it and was like, wow. And written above it, it said, MLM, MLM, MLM. I drive an Aston Martin. You can too. Call me now. And my dad did not know what MLM stood for. He actually thought it's for marketing, which we now know as network marketing. He went to a room.
So we've heard this story before. He said that he started his journey in the womb, so in his mother's womb, and his dad saw an ad in a newspaper, and then he called. I highly doubt that he thought it was Make Love Monthly. I doubt that he actually thought that, but it is a catchy and creative thing to say, right? Like it's kind of funny. It adds a layer of humor to his story. And I was going to go into about how he was in the womb while his parents were introduced to network marketing. Yes, he's a fast talker for sure. When I was listening to it earlier today, I thought 1.15 was a flying speed, and then listening to his intro, I'm like, no. And it's a relatively short video, so it doesn't really need to be super quick. For sure. I love how these rich people don't buy fast internet. My job depends on fast internet and pay for it. Oh, your job pays for your fast internet? That's good. I think his production value is higher than others that we've seen. Like, he does some editing. I know he has a videographer, and I do think his videos are more like pleasing to the eye than Ray's videos when he just sits there or he stands up in his room and there's not really much editing to it. All right, let's go.
And I was in the womb of my mom over 36 years ago now. And at that event, my dad had the most powerful emotion that you'll ever have, especially when you want to go into business. If she can do it, so can I. If he can do it, so can I. Whatever that emotion is, but that's kind of one of the keys here, really. And he went on to make millions and millions of dollars in network marketing. I kind of saw him make all this money as well. And then I got involved after saying no for 4 years. When I was 18 years old, it took me 4 years till I was 21, 22 years old before I got involved. And I saw him go from someone who said he was so broke he couldn't afford to pay attention to making millions of dollars, living in $1 million homes, driving the nicest cars, going on holiday all the time, and being the guy who was always the most positive. He got the fortune.
So he talked about a lot here. He was in the room, in the womb, and his dad experienced a really significant emotion. If she can do it, if he can do it, then I can do it too. We know that's the purpose of these MLM events. I've said it 1,000 times. Every video like these in this area will say this. They're just brainwashing events to make it seem like success is attainable and also sustainable. But what people don't realize is these people who are on the stages of these big fancy events, they have downlines of hundreds or thousands and thousands of people underneath them. He's going to talk about this later, but maybe they were lucky enough to go viral. Maybe they were lucky enough to have a huge network beforehand. Maybe they're just really outgoing. Right? Maybe they have a really good social media presence. Maybe they studied marketing. Maybe they, whatever. I don't know what else, but maybe they had some kind of privilege that made it easier for them to get to the top of the company. And someone like me, I'm not going to be able to go into an MLM company and then just magically get to the top of the pyramid like this other person did who has 100,000 followers on Instagram. And he's also talking about how his dad went from super broke to being able to afford all of the best cars and homes and vacations. And there's always the assumption that if you're in an MLM, you need to want to have extravagant things. Why isn't he talking about, my little $1 ring light's bothering me. Why can't we talk about, he set aside $100,000 for my schooling? Or why can't we talk about how we bought a really nice family home that has everything we need? Or he figured out his retirement fund by the time he was 45 or something, like why is it always really lofty, ambitious, luxurious goals instead of just wanting to say if you do have more money than you actually need, using that money to give your family some stability, right? Because he could have said, my dad had my schooling paid for by the time I was 12. And so I didn't have to worry about university, right? And that's also appealing because I feel like more people would want to be able to pay for their child's schooling than have a big $5 million home that they can't even afford to maintain. Hello, Lisa. How's it going? Thank you for joining. We were supposed to watch a Dexter Yeager video, but my brain hurts. It was a long week, and so we're going to do a Frazer Brooks instead.
The fame, the freedom, all of it. And you can too, but it's not for everyone. They obviously say that network marketing is a pyramid thing. It is a pyramid thing. 100% a pyramid thing.
No one says it's a pyramid thing, sir. No one says that.
Pyramid scheme, though. A lot of people think that network marketing is pyramid schemes. Now, there are companies that are pyramid schemes that make them look like network marketing companies because network marketing is a profession, right? Just like there are schemes in so many different things. There are health schemes, property schemes, land schemes. There are schemes everywhere, and you've got to be careful. But here's the thing, right?
There are schemes everywhere, and you do need to be careful. But in healthcare, you're not going to have, at least you would not having scammy doctors or scammy nurses is not part of the industry. Generally, in your average healthcare environment, your healthcare professionals are going to want to do the right thing. They're going to want to provide you with decent care. But you could have people external to the actual healthcare provider industry who are scammy, who might say, oh, your grandma's in the hospital and she needs $10,000 for this surgery or else she's going to die, right? That's not because that's not built into the healthcare system. That's separate to the healthcare system. And it's really easy for people to make up scams and prey on people's emotions and fear to get money out of them. But those are separate to the industry. Sure, scams exist everywhere, but you're just using that as an excuse to normalize an industry that is built around scamming people because you're brought in with the promise that you're going to make easy money. You can work in pockets of time throughout your day. You don't really need to recruit. You don't even need to sell. You just need to provide valuable content on social media. And then once you're in, you're lied to and you're deceived, but then you are gaslit when you question why you were lied to. So it's different, sir. It's different. Why is travel and going on holiday the best thing to achieve? My idea of success is not his. I would have a few acres of chickens, ducks, cute goats on a little pond somewhere in northern New England. That's wonderful. Yeah, and someone else may say, I want to pay for my kids' education. I want to, I don't know. I want to buy something nice for my kids because if you go and buy a $500,000 supercar, that's wonderful. That's great if that's what you're into and you can afford it. However, the value of that supercar is going to go down very quickly, right? And chances are you're not going to drive your supercar around the city. You are going to go and you're going to race it on a racetrack because you don't want the value to go down. You don't want your supercar to be ruined. Oh, I'm just blabbing a lot today. I'm sorry.
Reality. Only the top percent are going to make the big money. That's just a fact, right? If you look at a Christmas tree, there's one star on top. But guess what? Underneath, there are tens, maybe even hundreds of gifts. Now, if you look at Apple, there's one CEO. If you look at the military, there's one guy at the very top. If you look at the church, there's the Pope at the very top. If you look at the school, there's the headmaster at the very top. There's always going to be one person at the top of any hierarchy, also known as pyramid thing. And at the bottom, you're going to have all the staff. Then you're going to have the managers, then the regional managers, and the national managers, the board of directors. It's always going to be the same. Now, in network marketing, when you start, you are at the top of your organization. Amazing. And as long as you have a legitimate gift that you can give to someone, the gift being a product that actually has a benefit and not air, then it is a network marketing company. But here's the
okay, I want to let him go through that whole example. Sure, he's right. Every corporate structure, every company is going to have someone at the top, and then there's going to be more employees at the bottom. I've said this 1,000 times. Everyone has said this a million times, but employees at the bottom, even if you're working part-time, even if you're making minimum wage, you are still being compensated for your time. You can still guarantee that when you go to work, you are going to get paid for the hours that you're working. And if not, that's a crime. If not, that's wage theft, and you can seek legal representation. I don't know how that works. But he's also incorrect by saying only the person at the very top makes big money. Sure, maybe the CEO of a Fortune 500 company is going to make $300,000, $500,000 or whatever. I don't know how much they make, but their VPs are going to make a good amount of money. The directors are going to make money. A manager is going to make good money. Maybe the intern who is working 10 hours a week, who just graduated from university at the very bottom, may or may not make that much money, but everyone's making money. And sure, if you define big money as $1 million a year, sure, maybe only the CEO is going to make that money. But I'm sure everyone has had an experience at a workplace where you were paid a good amount of money and other people were also paid a good amount of money. Now I make an amount of money where I'm able to put aside a good amount for investments that we could use in the future. I'm able to put aside stuff for an RRSP. I have stuff in savings, and I have a good nest egg where if an emergency were to come up, I'd be able to help us. And I'm not high up in my hierarchy on the totem pole in my workplace. I'm probably near the bottom, and I'm able to easily take care of myself, my needs, my husband's needs when he needs assistance, and plan for our future. So, sir, you're wrong. And also, the CEO at the top of the company, their salary is not based on the suffering and the financial losses of those beneath them. It's not. It's not. And money does not start from the bottom and make its way up the pyramid so the CEO can get paid. No, it starts from the top and it trickles its way down. And sure, a CEO at the top of a huge company is going to make more than a manager because chances are a CEO has been in the industry for longer. Maybe they have a higher level of education and experience than a manager does who just graduated from university a couple years ago and doesn't have as much workplace experience. But they always say, oh, you can't become the CEO at your company. Well, why not? If you start as a manager and you develop and you learn new things in your workplace, why can't you become the CEO? Because when you're in big corporate environments, there are often lots of opportunities for promotion and you could work your way up. You could actually become the CEO of your company if you work your way up. I blabbed for like 10 minutes there. I'm sorry. So Christmas is not a pyramid scheme. With a pentagram on top, he probably couldn't draw the Illuminati eye. What about small businesses that are owned by a couple or a co-op? Oh, true, true. And hello, Andy's Web. It's great to see you. Thank you for joining. The elves are Santa's downline. If you've been in my channel for a while, you'd remember he was telling us about how flight attendants they get rejected every single day, multiple times a day, because they're going to go down the aisles and say coffee or tea. Would you like a snack? And people are going to say no, thank you, no, thank you. And if they don't let that rejection ruin their day, ruin their week, then why would we as network marketers let rejection ruin our day? And in that video, I said, well, Frazer, the flight attendant's income and livelihood is not based off of the flyers, the customers saying yes to a free coffee, tea, or snack. So it's different. Because in network marketing, if people continue to say no to you, you're not going to make any money and you're not going to feed your kids. I am correct. I don't remember what that was about, but I'm glad I was correct.
It's a first point I really want to mention. Making money is actually not the only thing that network marketing will give you. So I'll show you my story.
Barf, yes it is. That's all it should be about. Because yes, sure, in a normal employment environment, money is not the only thing that's benefiting me in my company right now, but it's also I'm growing my resume. I'm doing new things. I'm being included in new projects that I didn't have a lot of experience in before. And then whenever I move on to a new employment and look for a new job, I will have those skills and that experience that I can leverage to get that new job. But I can't use skills and experience to pay my bills and feed myself. I still need money. Okay, I'll let him talk.
When I got started, I had no hope, no vision, no self-esteem, no confidence. I was just a massive loser, to be honest. And I joined because I needed to make money. I had no money in my bank, like a little tiny bit. My mom and dad were super successful, but it didn't make me super successful, right? When I was 18 years old, my dad said, right, Frazer, we've given you a great life up till this point. It's now up to you to go make it happen. I'm going to give you the greatest gift of all, the gift of online entrepreneurship, or entrepreneurship at that time, which turned into online entrepreneurship for me, right? And I was like, nah, Dad, it's all right. It's not for me, those things. What was the alternative? I followed the route, go into university, look to get a job, start here, work my way up here, and then probably maybe get to about here. The idea scared me. It frustrated me. It annoyed me. So I got involved. I joined for the money.
That's very true, because a lot of people, when they get out of post-secondary education, whatever they decide to do, you quickly realize how hard real life is, how hard it is to get a job that you feel valued in, that people are respectful to you in, hard to get a job that is kind of related to your field. It's hard to realize that you have to work 40, 35 hours a week, and it all goes to bills for a while. Before you really establish yourself in your field, you are not going to have much money just laying around unless you're like a lawyer or a doctor or something. Like, I didn't start off with a huge, brilliant salary. And it's a hard reality to get used to, and it's hard to spend a full year searching for a job kind of related to your schooling and you don't find one. It's really hard, and I could understand how someone just coming out of school may look at a network marketing company and think it's a brilliant opportunity because they can bypass the struggle of being a new graduate and trying to make a name for themselves, trying to establish themselves as an adult. They sure do, Jolene. Sir, I don't want a family. Same. Thumbs up the stream. Let's help Heather out and thumbs up the stream. Thank you. And welcome to the stream.
But I stayed for two reasons. If you're in network marketing, you will nod your head and go, yeah, me too. If you're not, you'll go, well, I don't want those two things. You don't realize it at the time. But I stayed.
And he's saying, I was a loser. I had no hope. Well, no, you weren't a loser. We don't actually know you at the time, obviously, but you were 22 when you joined MLM with your dad. You weren't a loser. Like, you were a young person who didn't know what was going on in life, didn't know what you wanted to do, and that is a very relatable, real experience for people. Hello, Maria. How's it going? Thank you for joining.
For the people that I met and the person I became, because the version of me today would never have been doing what I was doing back then. The version of me today is way more positive, way more approachable, way more friendly, way more fun, way more energetic, has much more of an impact. So the first thing really is not all about the money. It's also about the person you become and the people that you meet, the impact that you can have as well. All right. So let's kind of really get into.
Sure. He changed a lot, but he went from 22 to 36. He could have been making an impact. He could have been being more approachable and outgoing just through the mere act of growing up too, because I'm a different person than I was a year ago, than I was 2 years ago. As humans, we change a lot, and we're directly impacted by people we come across, by our daily, monthly experiences. And it's a completely normal thing to change often. And I don't like it when we hear people in MLM giving all the credit to the MLM. Like, oh, I'm a good mom. I'm a better mom now. All thanks to Beachbody. It's like, well, no. Maybe because your kid is 5 years old now and you're getting used to being a parent and you've developed in that area and you've matured, and that's why you're a better parent. Maybe Beachbody, probably not, but maybe Beachbody helped you, but you still have to give yourself some credit because we have autonomy. We have the ability to make decisions about our behavior, and we should get some credit.
To some of the points here. So a lot of people call it a get rich quick scheme. And I know no one wants to get rich slow, but at the end of the day, it's not. It takes a lot of time. And again, anyone who has these unicorn stories of like, oh, I made $1 million in 12 months, then again, they are unicorn stories. Just like you hear of people like Padraig Harrington, for example. I'm a big golf fan. He started swinging a golf club for the first time when he was 25 years old. And he went on to win 2, I think even maybe 3 majors, right? They're unicorn stories. Like Lionel Messi, right? He's just won 8 Ballon d'Ors. Never been done before. Probably never happen again. There's a situation. But the reality is network marketing takes time. It takes time, it takes money, and it takes effort. And the majority of people aren't prepared to do that. They also...
He keeps trying to normalize things in MLM. Like, oh, only a few people make $1 million in MLM. Well, it's just like golf. It's just like soccer, where only a couple people really stand out and win all the prizes and the trophies and make like really, really big salaries. And sure, that's true. But if someone is trying, what is soccer, Premier League in England? I don't know anything about soccer. If a young person is trying to get into the highest level of professional soccer, they're not going to be told, oh yeah, you're going to be the star. You're going to win all the trophies. You are going to be the face of our league. Every single person who goes to training camps, who gets drafted, is not going to be told that they're going to be the star. But in MLM, you're told that you can make lots of money. You're told that you can duplicate the success of your leaders because you have access to those leaders, right? And you're told that it's going to be easy, that you can make $1 million. So it's different. It's different. No one tells a golf player that they're easily going to become the top player in the world. And if MLM people in MLMs were just straightforward and said, look, only a few people make $1 million a year, you're probably not going to be a millionaire. Even more, you're probably not going to make any money. If people said that as part of their recruitment pitch, nobody would join. Yeah. No one is telling people that everyone can do it. Exactly. Let's just be honest. But of course, if they were honest, no one would join them. It works 100% of the time for the people who do the work and follow the system. But everyone tries to follow the system, right? We said this so many times on my channel. You're so right. Like, people don't join an MLM thinking they're going to make money and then don't do anything, and then sit around and don't do what their upline tells them to do and don't even try. People who want to make money join an MLM and they try their best and they do what they're told, but they can't make any money. Premier League is in England. Okay, I thought so. And I'm a big hockey person, right? If there's a kid in midget AAA hockey, they're not going to be told, oh yeah, I guarantee that you are going to be the best NHL player by the time you turn 20. And you're going to be making $5 million a year and you're going to be the star. No one says that.
Say that in network marketing, you get paid what you're worth, you get paid what you deserve. And in the beginning, you don't. You work your absolute ass off and you don't get paid anything. And it frustrates people, especially people who are against it or anti the network marketing, doing a little for a lot. Also, another point with this is a lot of people don't want to expose themselves by being paid what they're worth because we're lazy. Human beings are naturally lazy. We look to do the absolute bare ass minimum. We want to get into the job exactly the time we start, and then we want to leave seconds after we should finish. Never longer. And the hard workers, they get screwed over. Don't get paid their overtime, don't get paid what they're worth, and they're moaning and they're whinging and they're complaining, but they're not prepared to do something about it. Here's what I will say. If you ever...
I had another point I was going to say, but I totally forget what he was saying. Oh my God, I don't... Oh yeah, so we do a little bit of work at the beginning, and we do a lot of work at the beginning and we don't get paid for it, but then we could do little work at the end and get paid a lot of money, right? But how many people are going to be at the point when they have true residual income where they can work an hour a day, truly work an hour a day and not touch their business and still make millions of dollars? The people who do that have been in for 1,000 years, have thousands and thousands of people in their downline, and that's very few people. That's like 0.000001%. And I don't like how he's making it seem like it's more attainable for people to just like go in and work a couple of years and then magically they don't have to work and then they make millions of dollars. Okay. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, we're all lazy. We're lazy, right? Because we want to go to work for the hours that we're paid and leave. No, that's not lazy. That's knowing our worth. That's us knowing that we deserve to be paid for our time. And that's us establishing a strong boundary with our workplace and making sure I will not work unless you pay me or unless I can bank these hours for overtime. That's a good thing. That's not being lazy. That's not. Sorry, I'm all confused. Perfect voice? What do you mean? I'm confused. Maybe, potentially. I will research it and see if I can come up with a video. Hello, Neil. I was supposed to do an Amway video today, but my brain hurts. My brain is tired, and I didn't think I could handle a whole Dexter Yeager video today, but it will be coming. Yes, victim blaming, exactly. I love me some hockey. Marie, you're from Sweden or Finland? Which one? I don't remember. Either way, I saw your national women's team play at the IIHF World Women's Hockey Championship, and it was super cool. Yeah, I love Finland and Sweden. They always have fabulous teams. Yes. Yeah, it's not Amway's fault. It's the IBOs who fails, for sure. Yeah, they all say it. That's not being a slave. Yeah, it's being able to clock out and go home and enjoy yourself and spend time with your families. Oh, yes. I saw Sweden play back in April, and it was the coolest thing ever because I grew up watching Sweden play in the IHF World Championships, and it was so exciting. It was so cool. It's really annoying when they say that, the lazy accusation. Yeah, and there's such a focus on constant productivity nowadays. I think it's okay for people to realize that maybe they need a break, to realize that they deserve to clock out at the end of the day and only work when they get paid and be able to just sit with their families, maybe watch a hockey game, maybe watch some Netflix, or just read a book, right? And there's nothing wrong with not being productive. IIHF, so it's the International Ice Hockey Federation, and I saw the 2023 World Championships. Coolest thing ever. Hi, Julie. Hello. It's amazing that you were there. I saw most of the games on TV. Yeah. Oh, it was so exciting to see Sweden. So cool. Yes, right, Gary? They're so fast. They've always been so fast. So good. Also Switzerland too. Okay, sorry. I am getting sidetracked.
Network marketing, this is what you're really hating on. You're hating on someone who wants to grow, someone who wants to make a change. And if you're hating on your friend Bob, because Bob's like, listen, I've got no money, I've got no hope, things have got to change, I'm going to do this network marketing thing. And you're like, oh, Bob, don't do that. That's just a waste of time. You're putting someone down because they want to make a change. They want to make a difference. So stop. There are hundreds of people that I could tell you the stories of who are living the life of your dreams. People who are making $1 million+ every single month. People who have retired at 35 years old. People who literally live out of a suitcase and have gone to over 100 countries. Imagine that. Imagine going to 100 countries. The reality is there are also a lot of people who have had their lives change from an extra 3, 4, 5.
I feel like I'm forgetting what I'm wanting to say. Like, what was he just talking about? Can I replay that last couple of minutes? Like, what did he even say?
Imagine going to 100 countries.
What did he even say? I'm so sorry.
People are making $1 million+.
Oh my goodness. Maybe I need to not let it play for so long because I'm forgetting everything.
Network marketing thing, and you're like, oh, Bob.
Oh yeah. So he's talking about how if we don't support our friends in network marketing, then we are stifling someone's dreams. We are limiting their creativity. We don't want them to change for the better. And it's really creating an us versus them mentality. It's saying that you are a bad person, you're a bad friend, a bad partner if you don't blindly support them. And there's a big difference between being like, oh, Bob, you idiot, what are you thinking? Don't be stupid. There's a difference between that and someone saying, Bob, I worry about you. I've read some research about how hard it is to make money in these companies. Can I show you the research? And I think he's lumping together those who are maybe toxic to their loved ones, those who bully them and maybe call them names, call them dumb, and those who are trying to provide high quality data and who are trying to support them, right? And so there's a big difference. And those who are just worrying and providing information, they, like Ms. Fraud just said, they're not Dexter Yeager. They're not trying to steal our dreams, like Dexter Yeager says. They care about us and they want what's best for us. Also, he's saying if you just stick it out long enough, you too could be making $1 million a month and live out of a backpack and go to 100 countries. That sounds miserable to me. I like my sleep. I don't want to be going from time zone to time zone. I don't want to be away, not sleeping in my bed for months and months and months at a time. I like my simplicity in my routine. I want to hang out with my husband and watch hockey and go on a little vacation here and there, but I do not want to travel the world. And I really don't like his insinuation that all you have to do is just keep pushing and you too can make $1 million a month and travel the world. And again, the assumption that everyone wants to have a big extravagant dream, whereas some people may just want a simple existence. Sorry, I was forgetting everything that I wanted to say. Amazingly, even former IBOs who speak out against a company who have failed say this, that they're lazy, that it's their fault. There are millions, literally hundreds of millions of people who have lost money in MLMs, and not all of them are lazy. If someone wants me to support them in an MLM, they're stifling my dreams. I'm not wasting my money on someone else's grift. Love that. So maybe I need to pause more often and say things when I'm thinking of them, because I'm trying not to, but then I forget what he just said 2 seconds ago.
Over 100 countries. Imagine that. Imagine going to 100 countries. There are so many incredible stories. But again, the reality is there are also a lot of people who've had their lives change from an extra $300, $400, $500 a month. The people who can pay the credit card to get their family in, the people who can go to the salon without having to say to their husband, please, can I have some money to go to the salon? It's not the mega stories that make people rich. It's the stories that allow people to improve their life, sleep better at night. That's what the real rich is in this game. It's not always about being I've got to be a top percenter to be rich. No, rich is different all around the world. If you go
now, he's changing the definition of rich. He's saying, sure, MLM can make you rich because you're rich if you make an extra $500 a month, then you can get a nicer car and go to the salon. That's what makes you rich. But, sir, how many people in these companies are actually making $500 a month in true profit, not just in revenue? Because you have to buy a product pack in order to join these companies. Then you have to meet like your PV requirements. And majority of the time, people meet those requirements by buying the products. Just because someone's making $500 in revenue does not mean they're taking that amount home. So I wonder how many people are actually able to have those small wins and be rich through improving a certain part of their life, like he's telling us. Because it's not true. Even this level of success in an MLM is not attainable for 99.99% of people. And now he's saying rich is different, no matter, like, depending on where you are in the world. He's going to say, oh, in some parts of Africa, you're rich if you have $1,000. You're rich if you have food. Sure, but that also is the same thing in cities in Canada too. You could say the same thing because there are people who have $0 to their name, who live in a tent, who are unhoused, who have no income and no way to feed themselves. So I know that's not the point, but you could also say the same thing for large cities in Canada as well. And you could say, oh, you're only making $20 a month in profit and you're upset about that. Well, it could be worse. You could be living on the streets. You could have no money at all. I would love to travel the world, but MLM will not get me there. Fair. That's certainly not my definition of rich, right? He's changing the definition. Yeah, you can be rich. You can make $500 a month. But, sorry, can we? Can we, though? Yes, you can be rich in inventory, for sure. Oh, no.
to different parts of Africa, someone's rich if they've got $1,000. Again, as I said, a lot of people aren't getting paid what they're worth. A lot of people are doing a lot for a little in the beginning, but it's a business, not a job. The moment that you compare this, it's always going to be a worse option. Of course, it's a worse option in the beginning. Why? Because you're going to get a guaranteed salary here as long as the company is around. Here, the only guarantee is that you do the work and you hope that someone buys, you hope that someone joins. Totally fine. I can completely see where people would argue that, oh, network marketing's a bad idea, don't do it. You've got to look at it as a business. And the fact that there's no risk, really, $300, $400, $1,000 to get started, no overheads or very, very low overheads, maybe $200 a month. It's not very much, is it? Here's a weird thing, and it frustrates me like crazy. If your friend was...
I'm just going to keep my camera off because I'm seeing that, like, on my computer, the picture is fine, but then on my StreamYard, the picture is laggy, and I don't know if my camera will help that. I'm sorry if the video is lagging. I don't know how to fix that. My apologies. So I'll just keep my camera off for a few minutes. Well, oh my God. Oh my God. What did he say? I'm forgetting everything today. Let's go back.
How much is it? Here's a weird thing, and it frustrates me like...
Holy crap. I can't remember anything.
$40, $1,000 to
Oh
get.
yeah, risk. Maybe I'm gonna type things out in my phone. So he's saying it's not a high risk to join an MLM because it's only a couple $100s. But for some people who are in a financially unstable environment, $300 or $400 could be a significant amount of money for them. It's a lot of money for a lot of people, and it's not just a one-time fee of $1,000. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. It's not just a one-time fee. You are continuing to have to pay into it month after month, and you're risking not just your finances, but you could also be risking your relationship with your friends, with your spouse, with your children. You could be risking your mental health, your financial well-being. That's a huge risk in MLM, even if the buy-in fee is a smaller amount. So I don't agree with that. And he's just comparing it to how much you'd have to invest to start an actual real business. Because if you wanted to open a store, it would probably be a couple $100,000. However, if you wanted to open an Etsy shop, I don't know how much it is. I'm going to assume it's not $100,000 to open up an Etsy shop. Right? So he's comparing apples and oranges here because they like to say, oh, it's so amazing. It's only a couple $100s to start your business. But in reality, it's a couple $100 in order for you to volunteer to work for a company that doesn't have to pay you. So it's different, sir. It's different.
Very much, is it? Here's a weird thing, and it frustrates me like crazy. If your friend was to open a Starbucks franchise, you would be like, no way! I'm buying all my Starbucks from you from now on, even if it's a 1-hour drive away. You go to the opening, you take photos of him or her cutting the ribbon. But when your friend contacts you to say, hey, I've got involved in this network marketing thing, I'm going to give it a go. Now, if they say, will you join my team? Then I get it. You may be thinking, oh, they're trying to make money from you, even though your friend who has the Starbucks coffee shop is making money from you anyway. So is Starbucks, a company you don't even know in terms of the ownership and who actually owns it. You've never met them. You never shook their hand. It's the same as when Beyonce goes and sells out concert tickets. You're like, oh yeah, I'll go support Beyonce, but you won't support your friend. Now, if they ask...
Okay, this is comical because how dare we not support our friend when they join an MLM? Because we would support them if they open up a Starbucks franchise. We would want to support Beyonce because we love her and we love her music, but we don't actually know her. We don't actually know Beyonce. We don't actually know the owners of Starbucks. So why would we support them over our friend, right? But if our friend opens up a Starbucks franchise, their success as a franchise owner is not based off of the suffering and the financial losses of people below them. Being in a franchise, owning a Starbucks franchise is not an inherently predatory and unethical system. There's honesty when you enter it too. I'm assuming no one's going to say, oh, it's so easy to be a franchise owner. You will automatically make $1 million in your first year just by opening your store. Again, like his other examples, like golf or being a professional hockey player, you are not going in based on false pretenses. There's more honesty coming in, right? And so there's a big difference. Starbucks is not inherently predatory. MLM is. And it's okay to not want to support a friend in a predatory business structure, because if you buy from them one time, they're going to think that, look, I can find success in this MLM. I'm making money. And it's going to give them like a false sense of security, right? And it's also going to keep them in the system for longer. So I think the best thing to do if you have a friend in an MLM is to not buy from them, please. And again, we're comparing things that aren't comparable, and it's confusing. No business, no job has a 99% loss rate. Exactly. For sure. I lived next door to a guy that had several donut shop franchises. Not once did he try to convince me to open one. Yeah, because his well-being is not based off of you opening a donut franchise as well. Yes, exactly. We are talking Starbucks, but I totally get your point. Oh, and why do we feel entitled to police what other people do with their money? Oh, well, you supported Jessica who just opened her Starbucks franchise. So why wouldn't you support me when I just opened up my MLM business? Right? But I enjoy Starbucks. I already go to Starbucks. So why wouldn't I go to my friend's Starbucks? There's always the assumption that we can judge how other people spend their money, and no one else has the right to do that. My spouse, I say, would be able to maybe question why I'm spending my money in a certain way, but nobody else does. You don't need to justify what is important to you to anybody other than maybe your spouse or your parents or someone who like is in close contact with you and who you have a good relationship with.
Ask for support and you don't support them, like, hey, I've just got involved in this business, I'm looking for some testimonials, would you try our products for 30 days? You're like, no, then I would look at that friendship. Now,
So if a friend doesn't want to try your product for 30 days, they're not a good friend, and you should look at the friendship. You should reevaluate. Well, what if they're allergic to an ingredient in the product? What if they can't afford it? What if it interacts poorly with one of their medications? What if they just don't want it? What if they just don't want it? So if someone just does not want your random MLM product, you're going to reevaluate the friendship. If you've been on this channel for a long time, before I did streams all the time, you would remember I did a video with Eric Worre called Weeding the Garden. And it's literally what Frazer's telling us to do now. You weed, you pull out anyone who is any of the plants that are a negative influence, that don't support you in your MLM, that don't push you to be better. And so he's telling us to weed out our friends who don't want to just blindly take an MLM product. I like coffee. I don't like your icky happy juice. Exactly, Sina. He also brought us bakery treats every Sunday for free delivered. I love that guy. Love that. Love that. That's so cool. That's nice.
The point, residual income. Yes, I know it takes a long time to create residual income, just like Michael Jackson or Elvis Presley or Coldplay or Justin Bieber, all these different singer-songwriters who take a long time, their entire career, and most of all their entire life, dedicated to one profession so that they can get paid for having the hit. How many songs did they create that weren't hits before? How many people actually have these huge hits that they can make money time and time again? One of the best examples I think I can give you is Mariah Carey. She's had so many songs, but the one that's really allowed her to live the life of her dreams is All I Want for Christmas. Now, some people say it was her song, some people say it wasn't her song. That's up for debate. But the reality is, so many songs had failed until that big hit, and then so many songs had failed after, but she makes millions and millions and millions every single year. So
again, we're comparing apples and oranges. Oh, yes, it takes years and years and years to maybe get to residual income in MLM. But look, it's the same thing for celebrities. Mariah Carey had multiple songs that were not hit songs, and then she hit it big with All I Want for Christmas, and now she makes millions and millions of dollars. But she had a lot of failures before. So comparing it to MLM, you are saying, well, you have to continue to fail. You have to push. You have to stay in for a long time. Because look, it took Mariah Carey a long time. If you just stay in, just like Mariah Carey, you will have residual income. Because even singers who have spent decades and decades in their field producing, singing music, writing music, they take a long time to get to that level. So why should you be any different? We're just normalizing people staying in MLM for years and years or decades even without making any money off the hopes of making it big. Friend of the channel, Michelle, says, what does she say? I will not work endlessly for the potential of being paid, right? For the potential. I don't want to work for the potential of being paid. I want to work and get paid. I want a guarantee of payment. And how many people try singing and don't make it, and they go on to paying careers? And no one joins like the music industry because they're told, I promise you are going to make it big. I guarantee it. It's going to be so easy. You're going to make millions and millions of dollars. I guarantee your level of success. No, people join the Hollywood industry or whatever, and they know that it's going to be hard. Chances are they're not going to make a living off of singing, but they try it. They enter the field with reasonable expectations. I don't actually know that. I'm just assuming. No.
Residual income is one of the pathways to get rich. Imagine doing the work, doing 5 to 10 years of work, and then being paid $100, $500, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $100,000 a month for the work that you did once. I would ask yourself, Are you getting that anywhere else? Now, if you're writing songs and you're singing songs and you're going to get residual income, amazing. That is so flipping awesome. But if you're not, and you're banking on the idea that when you hit 65 to 70 years old, you're going to get a retirement and you're going to work 40 years to literally live off a scam. Next point. It's now way more straight.
My connection is terrible right now. I'm just going to keep my camera off for the time being because I'm getting really frustrated. Now he's telling us, since we can't get that level of residual income where we can make $1 million a month off of work we did 10 years ago, that we should try MLM, because where else are we going to get it unless we're already famous singers? And he's saying, are we just going to work for 40 years and then struggle through retirement? I know I'm in a privileged position. I know not everyone is able to start retirement planning this early in their life, but I have set aside money every month since I had my first job out of university to plan for retirement. Lots of people do that. There are opportunities nowadays where you can put money into investments. It might grow a little bit. You can set money aside and you will have more than just like your state pension or your national pension or whatever it is in your country. Not everyone struggles through retirement. Lots of people plan for it very, very early. They have the privilege to do so, and they may or may not have a more comfortable retirement because of it.
'80s, the '90s, even the noughties, people would have to walk around the street. Hey, do you want to buy my stuff? Hey, do you want to join me? Hey, I used to be 30 kilos heavier. Now I'm not. Do you want to know how? Walking briefcases, wearing a 3-piece suit, looking the bee's knees. And now you can just do it from behind your home, behind the screen. But you know what? Majority of people are afraid to take the jump, and that's totally fine. Not everyone's going to get rich in network marketing. Why?
Sure, I guess it's technically easier to reach people because you are using social media now and you're not just walking around a mall, but everyone else in every other MLM company is also using social media. So you have hundreds of thousands or millions of people all using social media trying to recruit everyone they know to their specific MLM company. So your competition has skyrocketed because everyone has a significantly bigger reach, and social media is not automatically going to make it easier for you to recruit lots of people.
Because not everyone's actually going to join. They might have actually joined, but they haven't actually joined. Meaning they decided that they wanted to do it, and some people then said, nah, or yep, go on then. But when they actually joined, they thought that that was all they had to do. It's not a lottery. You don't go and buy a lottery ticket and then hope. We can't live on hopium. It's dangerous. So some people...
Ew, did you see that we can't live on hopium? And then he mimicked a needle in his arm. Did you see that? I forgot about that. That is gross. If you've been on my channel for a while, you would remember I did a video with Ray Higdon where he's talking about why we're all addicted to training. And he, for 30, 40 seconds straight, he was mimicking an individual who is struggling with drug addiction to make his point. And of course, that one was significantly more vulgar than what Frazer just did, but it's disgusting. That kind of behavior, in my opinion, is horrible. Frazer's a little bit less horrible, but it's still a horrible, horrible thing to do. And I don't understand why they mimic vulnerable people in order to get their point across. I do know it's because it brings attention to what they're saying, right? And he could just say, oh, you can't just hope for success. Sure, you could say that, but that's not going to grab the attention of a lot of people. So he has to say, oh, you can't just use hopium and pretend to take drugs. I hate that so much. Sure, we can't just hope our way into success. However, when we are recruited into our MLM, we're told it's easy. We're told anyone can do it. We're told just follow the system and you too will magically make $1 million. So maybe the problem is not us being lazy. It's not us joining but not doing anything. Maybe the problem is the representation of the industry. Maybe distributors are taught from coaches like you and CEOs to lie and misrepresent the opportunity. Retirement and Social Security, 2 things MLMs don't offer. Exactly.
they like it. Some people, they don't. Okay, so some points within social media. Number one, I want you to think about who you want to actually help, who you want to serve. Because if you feel that like, oh, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to be a top 1% right now, because right now you're probably not, because you're going to get paid on who you are, not on what you want. Right? If you want to be $1 million income earner, you're going to have to become the $1 million income earner with the skills and the mindset. But what you can do, especially when you feel that you're at the bottom of the pyramid, although your binary, your unilevel, your compensation plan will have you at the top and everyone joins after you within your organization, you will feel that you're on the journey to rise up the ranks, right? Like ruby, emerald, sapphire, diamond, double diamond, triple diamond, whatever it might be, whatever it is inside the company that you're currently looking at or that you're currently in. But what you can also do to get rich in this game is on social media, know who you want to serve, know who you want to help. And worst case, you provide value to those people. So if you're a mom, then that's who you're going to help. You're going to help all mums, and you're going to help them by talking to them about relatable things that you love, right?
Worst case, we just provide value to those people. So we spend a couple $100s to join an MLM. We buy the products. We waste our time on MLM meetings. We get this useless piece of information. Oh, provide value to people who are similar to you. Worst case, you just provide value. No, worst case, I waste my time. Worst case, I cannot afford to feed my children or keep a roof over their head. It's very high risk. It's very high risk if your social media posts do not translate into recruiting, into new recruits or sales. Like it really matters. If it really matters that people look at your post, engage with it, and then buy something or join you. But are we not told to manifest success? Right? Are you referring to we can't just hope for success? Why not? You're told we have to manifest it. You're told that we have to believe and then it will happen. I'm going to try again with my camera on.
Dog mom, married mom, mom with twins, mom who loves coffee, mom who also loves wine, mom who loves cooking cakes, right? Whatever it is that makes you, you, give value to other people like you, because there are thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions like you. Next point.
He's going to say something broad and random like give value to people just like you and not going to tell us anything. So we want to pay for his training so he can tell us what that actually means, right?
Create micro content like reels, lives, stories that can allow you to be liked, be loved, be trusted, so that people will come to you and say, hey, I would like to join your team, please. I would like to go on this journey with you. I would like to grow my own hierarchy pyramid, whatever you want to call it, to be able to get an extra $500,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month inside of the network marketing space. My dad, my mentor, used to always say to me, he said, Frazer, I don't know what it is. Are people afraid of network marketing, or are they afraid of making money? If they're afraid of network marketing, then network marketing is always say that, you know, people will come to you and
no one is afraid of money. People in MLM will often say, you're not having success because you think you're not worthy of it. You're afraid of high levels of financial success. Like the Beach Boss influencers say, we build a wall between us and the flow of money, and that's why we don't make any. So that's just another way, in my opinion, to gaslight us into thinking that it's our own fault that we're failing. And it's another way to blame the victim.
Say money is the root of all evil. If that's true, then wouldn't the devil give you a load? I don't know. Maybe he would. All right. So you know who you want to help. You know that you've got to create a lot of content for the idea of going viral or getting more reach. Then you
see, so it helps you to go viral. And you could make the most brilliant video ever, but if people don't see it, if the algorithm does not push it out, it doesn't matter. You're not going to go viral. I think a big part of it is luck, in my opinion. And even if you go viral and you have 1 million people watch your whatever reel on Instagram, that also doesn't matter if that does not convert into sales or recruiting. The devil would sign you up in his downline. So, and then they also say that we are not making money in MLM because we have like negative self-talk, negative limiting beliefs about money from our childhood. And again, it's our fault because we had a negative experience with money growing up. The myth that you only have to believe in yourself and you can get rich in network marketing. Exactly. It drives me bonkers.
need to kind of really analyze what's working for you and other people who have an audience of mums, right? For this example. So you would go onto Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, and you would go and find the people who have a large number of comments on their posts and go, so you know what, I can do my own version of that. You know what, I'll try that one. I'll give that one a go. You know what, let's see how I can do that better. So you know who you want to help, you create content to increase your reach, and then you see what's working for you and for other people to double down on those things. Now in network marketing, honestly, it's really selling the product, recruiting people to do the same, launching those people to give them a best chance of bringing in new people, and then leading the team. And a lot of people...
No, you are selling the product, sure, but through recruitment. So your distributors come in and they buy the product, and then you are teaching your team to also recruit distributors who come in and buy the product, and those people are taught to recruit others who come in and buy the product, and so on and so on. So you are not just selling to customers, you're selling to your downline. And you know that. What bothers me with these MLM coaches is they know that they are actively misrepresenting what the individuals have to do. They're actively making the industry seem like an easier spot to find success in. So people will join his coaching. People who are already victimized, who are already financially unstable, will join Frazer Brooks and will continue to lose money.
Have the idea of, you know what, I've got the goal to be the top rank but leader, because top leaders are what's lacking in this world. Top leadership skills allows you to do anything well, no matter what, if it's health, if it's wealth, if it's network marketing, if it's business, if it's entrepreneurship, if it's being a father or a mother, whatever it might be. Don't set the goal to be the top rank. Set the goal to become a top leader. Develop the leadership skills, whether it's reading
That's
John
bullshit, though, because I want to be the top rank because that's where I make money. But you're saying, no, just try to be a leader. So then, can you see my mouse? So then say you're here. You're not at the very bottom, but pretty much at the bottom, right? And you're trying to move up and you're struggling. And then your upline is going to tell you, well, don't worry about rank. Just worry about being a good leader. It's like, sure, but me being a good leader near the bottom of the pyramid is not going to help me pay my bills. It's another way just to distract you from the fact that it's almost impossible to get to the very tippy top of the pyramid. And that's the only place where you're going to make any money. So that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Of course, people in an MLM are going to want to get to the top rank. Of course they are. Now they're saying, don't worry about rank. Just read John Maxwell. Developing the Leader Within You 2.0 workbook. Because that's going to help you convince people to join your pyramid scheme, right?
Brainwashing yourself into positivity that allows you to unlock those natural leadership skills within you.
If you've been on my channel for a long time, you remember my video I did where someone was telling us, who was it? Someone was telling us to brainwash ourselves into success and truly wash our brain and change how we think. Change how we think, change how we perceive the world. Why do we need to change how we take in information and understand the world to be successful in this industry?
I was a leader when I was younger. I was an alpha. No, you be the leader. I know you like it. I hate that idea. The idea of being a team captain in a football team, I hated the idea of being the captain. But today I lead organizations. In fact, we lead a company that literally helps other billion-dollar organizations grow through social media, through our books, through our trainings, through our events, through our free content. Crazy. And the last piece, just continue to stay plugged into personal development. A life with personal development is far greater than a life without it. Now, a lot of people think they brainwash you. Why you listen to all that universe stuff? You need a reality check. But you know, when you're involved in the personal development space in some way, life is just better. You get resourceful. You're in the right environment. You know what's toxic and negative and where you really need to be. There are so many reasons why a life full of personal development will help you grow. Centric experience. There is more.
But you can understand what's toxic. You can understand your boundaries, what's important to you as a person. But outside of an MLM, you could read personal development books just because it's interesting to you, just because you live and examine life and you want to see where you can improve. And, or you could do it through therapy, or you could do it through honest conversations with your spouse or your parents. There's a lot of ways you can improve yourself. You can improve yourself just by living day to day and understanding how you react to things, how you treat people, and maybe like keeping a journal of how you can improve. There are lots of ways to improve, and you don't need to do it in an MLM. And you can also live a wonderful life while being comfortable. You don't need to push yourself outside of your comfort zone to be happy, to be fulfilled. Comfort zone is comfortable for a reason. It's where you feel at ease, it's where you feel relaxed, and lots of people are happy and content with their lives. Why am I annoyed? Well, it doesn't matter if you're a leader, even when there's no one following you. Exactly. Personally developing is one thing, but doing it in the MLM way is toxic. Exactly. Just do it outside of the MLM. Do it because it's interesting to you. Do it because you want to improve, not because you're being forced into it by an upline, not because they're going to use that as an excuse to gaslight you and to keep you in the MLM for longer. Oh, you're not making any money because you're not doing enough personal development. MLM personal development life versus an examine life. One is toxic, one is not. Living an examine life is plenty tough enough. Exactly. So if we want to read personal development books outside of an MLM, that's fine. But you're right. Examining how you live is hard enough. Let's let it run, and then we'll look at his oldest MLM coaching video. We won't look at it. We'll just see when it was.
Fun, more adventure, more spontaneousness with growth than without it. Don't get comfortable. Comfort is a big killer. They always say the greatest killer of a great life is a good life, the comfortable one. Look to grow, because that's when opportunities come. So I'm kind of wrap this video. Whether you think that Rich is being at the top 1%, top 5%, whether you think Rich is just making enough money to get some food on the table, whether you think that Rich is becoming a richer version of yourself from the value that you give, whether you think that Rich is having 100,000 followers on Instagram instead of 0, whatever, you can definitely do that. There's no guarantees, but what I will say is network marketing works 100% of the time for 100% of people who give it the time, but the majority of people simply don't give it the time. That's totally fine, because that's on them. All right, big love. Drop us a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, and let me know. Are you in network marketing? Are you looking to join network marketing? Because if you are, you're my people. All right.
And then that's also a way to kind of like,
hey legend, Frazer Brooks here, and welcome.
That's also a way to say like, well, that person's not making any money because they didn't want to. They just wanted to increase their reach on Instagram. And look, they went from 100 to 50,000 over the course of a year. So they're successful. Oh, that person is only making $500 in a month because that's all they wanted. They just wanted grocery money. And so they're successful. It's like, I highly doubt that every single person in MLM didn't want to make like actual full-time income. All right. So let's see, building a network marketing business using Facebook. So his first $1 million secret. So 7 years ago. Wow. So he's 36 years old now. 7 years ago, he was 29 when he started MLM coaching. So he wasn't in the MLM industry for very long. So if it's so profitable, why wouldn't he stay in for longer than like 8 years? Because he started when he was 22. 7 years. Why was he only in MLM for 7 years if it's so profitable? Like he wouldn't have had enough time to actually like get the residual income that he talks about, because he wouldn't have been able to really build a big enough team. He wouldn't have been able to make millions and millions and millions of dollars a month, in my opinion, in only 7 years, especially when you join your MLM when you're only 22. What do we think about that? Interesting. I want to see his most popular video. Network marketing, recruiting, how to recruit 10 people in 10 days. Ooh, interesting. Facebook algorithm, 10-minute countdown for network marketing. I think we've definitely watched a few of these. He has a lot of content for sure. The MLM coach I feel like who has the most is John Melton. I could have a whole ass channel just on John Melton's content. And I'm trying not to just do John Melton MLM coaching content. I'm trying to make it like more varied. But he puts out so much so much. I'm really sorry I kept forgetting what I was saying there because I would let it play for like a minute and a half and I had things in my head and then it was just gone. And I was like, I don't know what I was going to say. Whoops. So, what do we think about this? What do we think about him changing the definition of rich, saying, oh, it's not making $1 million a month. It could be making $200 a month. It could be having Instagram followers. And so, he's saying, sure, it can make you rich in MLM can make you rich because I'm not actually using any definition of MLM. So truly making $5 in MLM could count as rich. And it's very misleading. He's making it seem like you can easily make $1 million if you just focus and sacrifice and duplicate your efforts. You too can make $1 million. However, it is not for everyone. It's not a guarantee, but all you have to do is just stick around because it works for 100% of the people who work it. I suspect he hates the business model, and is trying to bilk everyone in it while messing with their heads. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. So, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Sorry for forgetting everything I was going to say. I think the stream ended up pretty good, though. I will see you guys on Sunday if my brain is functioning enough to do a Dexter Yeager stream. We will do that. If not, I will find something else, something more lighthearted to do. Okay, yeah. Rich can mean $200 extra, but that's still in the top 99% exactly. And if someone who makes a profit at all, they're in the top of the company. Exactly. So chances are you're not going to make $200 a month. You're welcome, Mr. Ranger Lab. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday, and I will see you all on Sunday. Bye.